Okay, here we go. Okay. So they're going to use the worksheet from section 1 to do the closing entries for section 2. So first thing we're going to do, well, the instructions. We're going to record the closing entries. Close the income statement accounts, close the income statement accounts with debit, close the income summary, and close the dividend account. So step 1, we'll just write on the top here, closing entries. And we'll just use December 31st. Again, as our ending date. So if you're looking at the book, on the page opposite from the section review is what the journal is going to look like when you're done. Obviously the numbers are going to be different. So I'm just going to follow this list kind of down a little bit, but there's some things that are going to happen in between these. Try to adjust. So if I get this too far away, it makes it harder to see, but it's hard to get both things in here. All right, so I'm going to start with sales. So we go to our worksheet, find sales, $430,521.58. So you see that goes in the debit column. So I'll put this in the debit column. $430,521.58. I know that's nearly impossible for everybody to see. So I got $430,521.58. That's right here from your sales from the worksheet. So this number is what I have here. So the next one listed in the book, list on the list, the purchases discount. So we're going to put that in here. We'll find that on our worksheet. Purchases discount, $345.25. So that's going to go right underneath sales. So $345.25. Then the next one on the list, our purchases, returns, and allowances. So you find that on the worksheet, returns and allowances. $4,153.28. Oh, That's sales, sorry, my fault. Looked at sales. Down here, purchases, returns, and allowances, $5,548.74. So there's what you should have so far. So now we come, you're looking at the book. The next line down, income summary. Now don't get your income summary though. Your income summary for this one is not going to come from your worksheet. So you notice if you're looking at the book, income summary is indented in, and our amount's going to be in the credit column. So what we're going to get for income summary here is we're going to add all three of these up, and that amount's going to go right here in this column. So 430. So that goes here, so 436. $415. And 57 cents. So this is what you should have right here. So then our next step is we're going to add another line, another new entry section for income summary again. But we're not going to fill anything in here yet. So don't write anything in either one of these two spots. Because the next thing we're going to do looking at the example of the book, we're going to go down the list and fill in all of these items from our worksheet in this column, and then we're going to add all of these up, and that amount's going to go right here. So we're going to fill all these in, add them up, and put that amount right here. So I'll go ahead and start writing mine out. You can follow along in your book and do the same thing. Everything's going to go in the debit column. Okay, I've got about half of them written down so far. So I'll go ahead and fill in the numbers, so that way you'll know you're getting the right numbers too. So we got sales discount. So here we go, sales discount from our sheet, $215. Now notice on here it's on the debit side. Well, on our journal we're going to put it in on the credit side. Sales returns and allowances, $41.53.28. Purchases, $174. Advertising expense, $6,000. So there's what I've got so far. Alright, so now finish it out, fill in the rest of these. Okay. So those are the rest of those I have filled in. They're the same ones that are listed in the book here. So I'll start filling in the numbers now. Let's see. So those are the rest of the numbers I've got filled in. Basically, you have everything coming from your income statement debit column. This is going onto your journal in the credit column. So now we're going to add all these up, and that's the amount that's going to go up here at the top. Yes. Alright, finally get something to add up right the very first time. So you should have $364,980.63. If you didn't add them up, waiting for me, that's fine too. So we'll put that up here. 364,980.63. So this is the amount you want up here at the top. So remember, that just comes from adding all of these up, putting them up here. So, if you want to make a note on here, so when you do the on your own, you know where that number comes from, that's fine. Okay, so we got that section. Now we're looking at our book. We've got our next line down. And another spot for income summary. And you notice the example in the book, it's even different from the other two. So I'll show you where that number is going to come from. So I'll put the 31st on here. And flipping back, if you follow to do the on your own, if you have to go back and look through the book, if you follow all the steps. I'm skipping ahead here. On page 490, it says the income summary that's in the example in the book is equal to the net income amount shown on the worksheet for your net income. So what that's referring to on your worksheet, net income after federal tax is $73,283.19. It's going to be our net income after federal tax. So that's the amount that's going to go here, and it goes in the debit column. So I'll go ahead and write that in here, 73,000. 283 and 19 cents. So again, following the instructions in the book, you know, after income summary, your next line down is going to be retained earnings. And you see the numbers match in the example in the book, so we're going to do the same thing on our journal. We're not going to use the retained earnings from the worksheet. Retained earnings, 73,283. And 19 cents. So then we get to the last part. The last two lines that we're going to add on here, another retained earnings and dividends. So right to 31st. And we're not going to use, so don't get ahead, we're not going to use this retained earnings because you see in the book here, the retained earnings that it shows here, that's shown in the book, is not the same as the retained earnings up here. So I'll write retained earnings here. And I'm going to go ahead and write dividends underneath of it. So you have your last two lines, retained earnings and dividends. I'm going to go back to the worksheet and get the dividends amount. Dividends, 16,000. So I'm going to go ahead and write the 16,000 here in the dividends section on the dividends line, and then go back up one to our retained earnings on the debit side, and put 16,000 there. So you can see how this one's you got a little bit of confusion going on because some of the stuff doesn't come from the spots where you think it will. So what there is your general journal for the work together. So still you can kind of see, you know, still kind of see the balancing act with this whole thing. You know, starting at the top, you've got this group, your amounts here, the same amount down here for your income summary. So the balancing act, both sides are the same. And then for your income summary and all your debits from your income statement, all the same on both sides. Same for the other two sections. So It's kind of a confusing system at times. So there's that one. So now hopefully you've got enough to do the on your own.